Hi, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm looking to see. Shout out to everybody in here. Thank you guys for being here. Let me go ahead and do the intro. That way we get those notifications out. Probably not a lot of surprise because, it's a Saturday. People are out and doing different things. Shout out to everybody that's here, though. Thank you guys for being here. Shout out to you guys. Let me get this intro going so we can get started. And let's go now. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits. Drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. Oh my God. H said that they got some Jello shots in them. Ooh, shout out to you and the Jello shots. Well, listen, I support adults taking Jello shots. I don't support children having Jello shots. I don't. But the adults, y'all want to get messed up, do your thing. I'm here for it. I support it. I support the message. I approve the inebriation of adults. As long as y'all aren't drinking and driving or getting high and dry, just sit down and relax. It's going to be a good night with Jello shots. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Storm. Everybody come through, guys. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. We have so much to review. Before I get started, y'all, I have been busy today. Let me just say this. We got the 100 and how many pages is it? 126 pages of the Scott Peterson declaration. So this video is going to have to be in parts that I'm working on with Scott Peterson. So I definitely, for those that have been watching, when we give a commentary about Scott Peterson, and everything that's going on with that case, it's been, I want to say a good 3 months or 2 months as we talked about Scott Peterson. So we definitely going to be going back to that here pretty soon. He submitted a self-declaration. I was able to get a copy of it. Yeah, it's about 120 some plus pages of Scott Peterson. And so I've done the first, what page am I at? I just did a video, and this is why I've been busy today. I've been recording and doing other stuff, but 45 minutes of a video we just did. He wrote it. Ronan, you're going to, shout out to Ronan. Listen, Ronan, you're going to have to see what Scott Peterson has to say, because apparently I'm going to tell you guys, I personally feel like the man does deserve a new trial. might be the unpopular opinion, but I personally do feel like the man deserves a new trial. Okay. Good night, Layla. Have a good one. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, my love. Um, that's my thought. Okay, I think that there's something going on there, and that's my opinion, though. Okay, y'all can have your opinions, but that's my opinion. That's what I believe, that there's something there. Now he did, like I said, submit his declaration, and his declaration is interesting. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say about that. So I just recorded the first video. It's gonna be cut up in parts because this declaration is way too long for one whole video. Way too long. I'm already doing 45 minutes of editing for that Scott Peterson video. So expect that maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll drop part 1 tomorrow of his declaration. His own words, if you know what I mean. Welcome everybody. I'm letting those notifications go out because I did change the time a couple times here. Um, so I'm just trying to see who makes it in. Welcome everybody. Let's see. He can shut his mouth, but he does deserve a new trial. But you think he deserves a new trial? Wow. Really? Yes, I did. I had to move it, guys, because that was a little too late. So I just moved it. I think moved it 2 times the time. I had to move it around. I wasn't even sure if I was going to do a live today cuz I was so busy, but yeah. And sometimes when you move it doesn't really move stuff around. Rotten Ralph, why do you think he deserves a new trial? In part because of the way in which the case was investigated and handled. I think that's my stance on the Scott Peterson. I feel like there was some bias, and then especially after seeing and reviewing a little bit of how they investigated the case. That's just kind of my thought. I feel like the detectives were very biased. Now, is Scott Peterson a horrible man who cheated on his wife, and possibly murdered? I mean, the state of California said he's guilty, so he's in there, right? I definitely think he's guilty of cheating. That's for sure. Cheating on his pregnant wife. I'm still reading the declaration. I'm waiting to the part where he talks about the cheating. I am. He is not there yet. I'm waiting for the part where he talks about the cheating. He's not there yet. So I feel like that investigation was pretty crappy. Oh my God, H. Thank you. Coffee Fun for the editing. Oh my God, thank you. I have a lot of editing to do, and I'm still not done recording. I appreciate this. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, Rotten Ralph. Shout out to you. I've never seen you here before. You must be new. Okay, investigation shenanigans are definitely a reason for a new trial. Exactly, Rotten Ralph. That's my thought. It's like, listen, I want them to investigate. Baby K, where have you been? Oh my God, Baby K, I thought you left me. I was like, I don't know where she went. She left. She left. Baby K was out of here. I hadn't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well, Baby K. You said, I don't know. He seems guilty, in my opinion, says Baby K. Baby K, hope you're doing well. Shout out to you. DD, just gifted 5. Y'all are blessing. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Dee Dee, if you have received a gift, if you've been gifted by Dee Dee, please put some confettis. Thank you, my love. Some hearts. Those hearts need to go faster. I'm gonna need there to be more reactions. Like, I want there to be more reactions. Thank you. Yes, look, Rotten Ralph got a membership. He wanted to remain that party boy cheater, did not want to become a one-woman man, did not want to become a father, so he unalived them. That's what Night Charm says. Shout out to Night Charm. Oh my God. All right, let's get started, you guys, because we definitely have so much to review. And I got my little sticky right here, y'all. There's some interesting things that are happening, I think. As far as the media goes, right? There's certain things that I feel like get reported and other things that don't. But before I even go there, I wanted to show you guys something, okay? You see, I used to be a huge Dateline junkie. I mean it. Like every Friday nights, Dateline, 48 Hours, 2020. Those were my shows for the longest time. I was a huge, and part of it is because I love true crime, right? Like that's my thing. I love true crime. So this influencer, I don't know who she is, but this shit is so hilarious to me. She decided that she is going to pre-produce her Dateline NBC just in case she's murdered case. Okay? She is going, like, if she is murdered, she is going to like pre-produce her episode. And she laid it all out for us. And I said, I'm so here for it. So let's watch, y'all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, okay?
Talk to you about the evolution of my Dateline NBC murder binder. My episode is called Prayers for Peaches, and I've pre-produced it in the event that I go missing or get murdered. I can't leave my episode to chance. I can't leave it that there are only 2 pictures they use, and they're both bad. So my binder has all of the plot lines and all the visuals that are necessary. Also, I make sure that there are some excellent photos of myself looking selfless and loving and generous with my children. And one smoking hot shot of me in a bikini from years ago. And then I put in a really bad photo of Captain Big Shot because if he does take me down, he's not going to get to look tan and handsome. Okay, he's going to look like this. So I keep a running tab of suspects, and we know that Captain Big Shot will be number 1. This is just Dateline NBC 101. But I keep a list of other possible suspects too. This is a fluid binder. You have to be paying attention all the time. I play league tennis, and these UST ladies.
Wait. She put a picture of Diddy there. She says she has a fluid list of people, of suspects, y'all. She put Diddy in there as well. It she is gonna control the narrative. Listen, if somebody murders her, she gonna have the good pictures, the ones with the bikini shots. She's gonna do all that. And these are fluid suspects. She put a picture of Diddy in there. You can't make this shit up. I love this.
They get real upset. Try hitting one in the boob and see what happens. And then put Alex Murdaugh in there because there's a good chance he's going to do something. And then I keep a running tabs on wild animals because I'm also afraid that I'm going to have death by consumption. Bridges, Boeing, door plugs. And then I just threw in some perverts and scammers for good measure. My affairs tab is the most dynamic. And if you watch Dateline NBC, there's usually an affair. So why not pick yours ahead of time? Okay.
Ooh.
So my number 1 is DeMarcus Ware. I have a couple alternates, including Margot Robbie, because that's my lesbian pivot, because I think that'll keep a lot of eyes on my episode. So
She put in her lesbian. She said, put in there Margot Robbie, because that'll keep eyes on for good measure, you guys. If you're gonna pre-produce your Dateline NBC episode, just in case, you might as well just create a binder and you put all these people in there.
So they'll find me. Kevin Costner used to be number 1, but I had to put him in a separate binder. He's in the put out to pasture binder by himself because I got very upset about how Yellowstone went down. I even had to take a pregnancy test to prove that I was not pregnant with his child from Yellowstone. And I encourage you to test out your friends. See who's going to be a good gazer on the Dateline NBC episode. Who's going to look out longingly, missing you the most.
Do you know what? I hate this is the thing about Dateline episodes. You know how, and it's horrible because some of these like cases, they're tragic murder cases, right? Like they're murder cases, but they do get the friend who like looks up and has a cup of tea and it's like gazing out there. She's looking out there for long hours. Like it's horrible.
How are your kids going to do at the press conference?
My mom is my hero.
How are your dogs going to do?
Listen, I didn't see anything.
Our mailman is pretty cranky. I bet he did it.
How's your husband going to do? He gets 1 shot.
Don't be like Scott Peterson. You have to show more emotion. Go.
Want
More.
somebody to help me, please.
More.
Help the family.
She told him, don't be like Scott Peterson. You need to show more emotion.
And I've expanded it so there are things like general concerns, things you're monitoring, things that are on your radar. So my binder is like journaling for the new age. Once I put it in here, I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's very therapeutic. I want to talk to you about the evolution of my Dateline NBC murder binder. My episode is called Prayers for Peaches, and I've pre-produced it in the event that I go missing or get murdered. I can't leave my episode to chance. I can't leave it that there are only 2 pictures they use, and they're both bad. So my binder.
You cannot. This is funny anyway. So I thought y'all would get a kick out of that, especially if you're in true crime. Yeah, she's great. She's great. She's great. Her name is, I'll tell you who her name is. Her name is Peaches, and hold up, let me see if I could put her in here. This is her page. Hold up. Peaches, is it Andy's or Addie's? Peaches and Addie's. She's a huge influencer, 570,000 followers. This is her page. She is hilarious. I loved it. When I saw that, I was laughing so hard. I said, you can't even make this up. So she pre-produced her own Dateline episode. I was here for it. I was here for it. Am I making my own binder? Probably not. Probably not. I am not. That's like, I'm not trying to wish that. I ain't trying to get murdered. Come on now. Lord have mercy. That would be something else. But she's hilarious, though. I love how they all got in there and got together. But this is such a true crime situation, you know? Uh okay. Let's get it together, y'all. Thank you for being here. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button because we have so much to review. Speaking of true crime and stuff that we got to talk about, let's talk about Mike Jeffries. Mike Jeffries. Y'all, I don't this news kind of fell under the radar. I didn't see anybody reporting this. So we definitely have to report on this, okay? So the former Abercrombie Fitch CEO is ruled unfit for trial and ordered hospitalized. Listen, my understanding is that they've identified more than 40 victims from this RICO case. If you guys remember, this RICO case broke sometime in, I want to say it was October of last year, because we definitely had the breaking news and we talked about it. The district attorney at the time, it was the same district attorney that was going after Diddy, who has since left the office. Keep that in mind. He's no longer there. He basically, shortly after Diddy, he kind of went for this guy right here. And for those that don't know this guy was like the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. He would target male models specifically. He and like 3 other of his co-defendants. And how convenient. Suddenly he is 80 plus years old. Suddenly he's unfit to stand trial. What does that mean exactly? Where does this go from here? Is he just going to stay in a hospital? What exactly is going to happen here? So he's ordered to be hospitalized. So a federal judge on Friday ruled that the former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch is not competent to stand trial on sex trafficking and ordered him hospitalized to see if his mental condition improves. Michael Jeffries' lawyers sought the ruling last month, writing in a letter filed in a New York federal courtroom that the 80-year-old required round-the-clock care because his Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body dementia, and the residual effects of a traumatic brain injury. The defense, as well as prosecutors, requested that Jeffries be placed on the Federal Bureau of Prisons custody so that he can be hospitalized and receive treatment that might allow him to proceed with the criminal case. The court finds, by a preponderance of the evidence, that the defendant is presently suffering from a mental disease or defect, rendering him mentally incompetent to the extent that he is unable to understand the nature and consequences of the proceedings against him, or to assist properly in his defense, is what the judge wrote in his decision. Okay? He directed the Attorney General office to place Jeffries in a hospital for up to 4 months. Jeffries has been freed on $10 million bond since pleading not guilty in October to federal charges of sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. Prosecutors say his romantic partner, and a third man, the guy with no nose, remember the no nose guy, and a third man used the promise of modeling jobs to lure men to drug-fueled sex parties in New York City, the Hamptons, and other locations. The charges announced in October echo sexual misconduct accusations made in a civil case and the media in recent years. In their letter, Jeffries' lawyer said at least 4 medical professionals concluded that their client's cognitive issues are progressive and incurable, and that he will not regain his competency and cannot be restored to competency in the future. Jeffries left Abercrombie in 2014 after more than 2 decades at the helm. His partner, Matthew Smith, has also pleaded not guilty. Are they going to say he also has dementia too? I just want to know. Is everybody everybody's got dementia? Especially when they got this whole little Rico situation happening, right? Anyways, let me go ahead and keep going, okay? His partner, Matthew Smith, has also pled not guilty and remains out on bond as their co-defendant, James Jacobson. I don't know what to say, but guess what? The Associated Press reported this. I didn't see any bigger outlet report this, okay? No. I mean, this guy, 40 victims, 40 plus victims that we know of, okay? And nothing. I guess he's gonna I don't know, sit in a hospital. I guess. What do you guys think? If you got dementia, you got dementia. Everyone gets dementia, says H. Well, what do y'all think? Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this. I just was like, I'm a little surprised nobody's talking about this guy right here, you know? And then Abercrombie and Fitch, they also have a lawsuit as well and other things going on because of the fact that they acted like they didn't know what this guy was doing. He was getting men, male models, setting them up in hotel parties. This is the creepy part out of this situation. This is the creepy part. He would set up the room to look like an Abercrombie and Fitch store so that they could do their thing there. Okay? So that they could do their thing there. And for those, how many of y'all, some of y'all may have never been to an Abercrombie and Fitch store. You know, it's dark, it's perfumey, there's palm trees, it smells like vanilla and musk. And, you know, you got people with no shirts, good looking people all over. Let's see. I feel like the setup hasn't really changed as far as like how they set up their stores, right? Usually the lights are off, male models all over. I mean, they set it up so that I guess it could look like a modeling environment while they're being violated. I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Yes. He's got more money than this dude. Yes, he does. You know, not my kind of store even 15 years ago. That's right. Yeah. So that's what was going on. So I'll definitely follow up on a separate video with this, but I feel like the major media outlets aren't really talking about this guy, and they should. I said this yesterday when I was talking about another lawsuit with the modeling industry. We talk a lot about the music industry. Oh, Andrew's like, are you describing an A&F store or Adam and Eve store? Yo, I'm just saying, like, and then you got like the perfumes are nasty. Abercrombie and Hollister are kind of the same, right? They're like in that same little network of stores, right? Owners and stuff like that. Kind of the same field, right? It's dark. You shop in the dark. There's beach waves all over. Good looking people all over the place. Posters, models, all kinds of things. It smells because the cologne is strong. You're trying out clothes in the dark. That's kind of like the vibe, right? Thank you, Ronan. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, this one's not being talked about as much. So I wanted to bring it up, but I definitely want to pull the court and the judge's opinion on this matter because he said they got 4 competency stuff for this guy. So there's that. And what about the other guys? Are the other guys going to be held accountable? Kind of wondering. But they're saying this guy's got dementia. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about, oh my God, y'all. Okay. Who's been following the situation with It Ends With Us? Let me know. Who's been following the whole It Ends With Us saga? Drop a rabbit in the chat if you've been following the It Ends With Us situation. Let me know in the chat if y'all been following that. Please and thank you. Jay McCarthy just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Dee Dee, thank you, guys. Put some confettis and hearts in the chat if you've been blessed. I see a lot of people have been blessed with the membership. Thank you, Jay McCarthy. Appreciate you. You're waiting for it to end? Let me know. You don't know the story? You don't know the story about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni? This whole situation? Well, let's jump into it, okay? This one caught my attention too, okay? Tammy says, I've been following it since day one, all right? There's a lawsuit going on. Some people said that it's false, it's frivolous. Some people are team Justin Baldoni. Some people are team Blake Lively. I am team nobody because I just want to get to the facts of what the hell is going on. I feel like there's just in between. You have one side that says one thing and then the other side says something else. This caught my attention, y'all. Okay. Blake Lively allegedly had cold sores and Justin Baldoni didn't want to kiss her, allegedly, according to a source on the set. Okay. And this was interviewed, I believe, I haven't watched it, but apparently Popcorn Planet interviewed a source. This is what the person is saying here. So I was thinking about this. Yes, a girl, herp on the lip. I was thinking about this, okay? Because I'm sure that this is a thing in Hollywood, right? What do you do when a celebrity, like if you're an actor or an actress and you're supposed to do a makeout scene and the person that you're making out with has a cold sore? What are you supposed to, do you like schedule filming for later on because somebody got a cold sore? What do you do? What would you do? What would you do in a situation like that? There's intimacy. What do they call them? Intimacy coaches or kissing coaches or something. But if somebody got like a bump in the lip, that's not something like a Band-Aid. Makeup is not going to protect you from that, okay? And you're supposed to make out with this person. I don't know how. Upside Down said I would refuse to do my job. Well, listen to what this person had to say, okay?
You guys, oh my God. Blake had cold sores on the set of It Ends With Us, and Justin was dodging, making out with her, dodging, kissing her. You guys, this is all alleged, of course. So Andy from Popcorn Planet has been working on a documentary about the movie, and Moonlight Receipts in the Instagram post about this said, an inside source told Andy in the interview, if anyone didn't want to kiss anyone, it was Justin dodging Blake. Why? Allegedly cold sores. Word on set was Blake had visible lip herpes that had the crew whispering, worried, and makeup scrambling, allegedly. Apparently, they tried everything, makeup, lighting, editing, tricks, but insiders say Justin was doing all he could to dodge kissing scenes. But since he's a professional, he did what he had to do after investing millions and years into this movie.
What do you mean he had to do what he had to do? Did he kiss her? What do you do? Is that like there's got to be a manual for this. That's what you have to kind of wonder. Darcy said it stops here. What is a cold sore? Or he said it's a cold sore. Is it a cold sore? A zip on the lip? I don't know. I don't know about this middle school story. It's a healthy condition, but I mean, like, would you, if somebody has a cold sore, would you be kissing them on a set, especially if that's your job? And Blake would not be the first, says Rando Girl. Shout out to Rando Girl. But I'm wondering, like, what do they do in situations like that? That's an honest question. Because if you notice it, and like, what do you do? That's what I want to know. You wait until, that's what I would think. You wait until it's healed. And then you kind of move on, right? I really want to, because I'm kind of curious. I'm going to tell you guys something, because what if your job is acting? Hold up. Now, I'm going to take a little poll, all right? I want to know, Because see, I want to know what the y'all are like conflicted about this one. If you are Justin Baldoni and you see Blake Lively with a herp or a bump on the lip with a bumpy, would you kiss? Would you put your, your panties on and just say, fuck it, we're gonna do this? Yes, no, yes, but when it heals. See what everybody says. But when it heals. So maybe later. Hold up, y'all. All right. Let me make sure I understand the question. If you are Justin B and you see BL with the bumpy, would you kiss? It's your job, all right? Y'all are actors, whatever. This is your job. What would you do in a situation like that? Go vote. By the way, voting is anonymous. I wouldn't know where you guys stand with this. I have to know. I have to know where you guys would stand, Said I like to think that actors have stuff like this written into their contracts to get them off of this. Janelle, that's a good question. Do they? That's the question that you would be amazed. I feel like Hollywood is like behind in things like this. It almost, even when you read this lawsuit between them, it seems like, well, Jesus, like not a bumpy rap. I didn't want to put the H word because then they're going to demonetize and, they're going to say too much. My job is not to get the swords. I'm not kissing shabby lips. No, thank you, Bobby. I fucking love Rando Girl because she's always coming here. She just knows how to. I love it, girl. I love you, girl. You always in my chat. You. Anyway, shout out to you. I said there's a liquid plaster that you can use to seal infected area. Oh, no way. I didn't know that. It's not a Breva, is it? So there's like you can actually put it on. I didn't know. I didn't know you could do that. I'm having the more you know moment right now. I really am. So I'd like to understand. Let me know what you guys think about this. You seal it. It's Juliana. Okay, so you seal it. All right. Let me Google this. Do you know what it's called? Plaster for cold sores during, I don't know, acting? Interesting. So there's like a healing patch that you can put on it. Okay, that's like a whole different thing there. But what do you do? So then that would require her to disclose to the team that she has cold sores, right? You said, nah, I'm good. You're not putting clear nail polish over a cold sore. Listen, Didi, I hope I never get, listen, y'all don't even want to see my Google search history. Between murders and different things, cold sores, plastering, Jello shots. I have all kinds of searches all over. Okay, liquid band-aid works, Juliana, but if it works, is it going to help the other person not get infected? You said toothpaste works, but it's because it's still contagious, right? I don't know, y'all. Okay, look at this poll. All right, let me end the poll, all right? Because I just wanted to know what you guys thought about this situation. Okay, so Fitz LA, thank you so much for being a member for 3 months. Love, shout out to you, my love. Thank you. Shout out to you. Thank you for supporting my channel for so long. Thank you. Okay, the poll says, if you are JB and you see BL with the bumpy, would you kiss? 56% said no. 37% said yes, but when healed, maybe later. And 3% said yes. Wait a minute. 3% of you would kiss her with the bumpy? Now I know out of those 50 votes, I had a poll troll in there. Yeah. Anyways, I know some of you guys I must have some trolls in my chat. Okay? I got some trolls in my I must.
And I got this tidbit from a follower of mine, fellow sleuth. You guys should go follow Moonlight Receipts. I will tag. Brian Friedman's team needs to get on this because this just helps prove a lot of stuff. Let me know what you guys think and make sure to follow. Thanks, guys. Justin was dodging the cold sores. You guys.
That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. So I don't know, man. It's petty, but it's definitely something else. I'll say that much. Moving on, y'all. Moving on. We gotta move on. Let's talk about which we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about Shannon Sharpe's accuser. I did a video yesterday. One of the accusers. Okay, this is Michelle Evans or Michelle Bundy Evans. Think she's still Michelle Evans. Okay, did you guys watch this? Let me know if you watched this. I did a short little video on it yesterday, and just a reaction to it. And I had a lot of questions about this. A lot of people are either believe this woman or they don't believe this woman. This is kind of where they're at right now, and I'm kind of wondering what you guys think. We definitely going to watch. You watched it, okay? Miramari, you watched it. Where do you guys stand with everything? Let me know. Venus Blue, thank you for being a member for a year. Shout out to you. Thank you, love. My heart hurts, says Dee Dee. Okay. Some people don't believe her, and that's fine. You guys are entitled to your guys' opinion. I'm not her. I'm not making my case in front of everyone. But some people don't. So I felt like we could talk a little bit about that. I don't know yet. Blue Venus, thank you again. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you for being a member for a year. Thank you. Let me go ahead and hit play on this, guys, and let me know what you guys think in the comments.
The biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand.
Okay, so this, for those that don't know who this woman is, her name is Michelle Evans, okay? And she sued Shannon Sharpe in 2023, claiming that he had R'd her during their 10-year relationship, okay? The suit came to light again last month after Sharpe was sued by the other woman for $50 million. This was the second woman who also claimed, made similar claims of rape and stuff like that. Shannon Sharpe has denied the claims on both lawsuits. Okay. This is kind of where Shannon starts. So Michelle decided to do an interview. She did an interview with Tasha K, which I have not watched. It's on her app. And then she did this interview on Friday, yesterday, it just dropped, with the US Sun, where she gave a little bit more details. Now, we read Michelle's lawsuit. Okay. And I think a lot of us, at least I'll speak for myself, Michelle's lawsuit was very confusing. It was the one that I read, and I was like, guys, maybe she needs a lawyer, because we couldn't understand it. If you guys remember, it was like a lot of like big words and kind of making things a little bit more complicated than what they were. This is her. She wrote this lawsuit. Okay. So let's go ahead and watch this. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
We met in actually the press room at the Broncos, April of 2002. And, but we didn't start talking until we met up at a club at Blue 67 in Denver. I don't know if anyone is listening from Denver, but yeah, we were at a club at the same time. We didn't go together. We just happened to both be there. And so he started talking to me, and he started pursuing me pretty heavily from then on. I resisted for a while because, I was a reporter and I didn't want to mix the two. But he's very charming. And we dated until the 2010 incident. And then it came to abrupt end because I wanted, we we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me.
So what led up to that fight, that 2010 fight that you guys, I know that the argument ensued first before he allegedly raped you.
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. And he had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating. So I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. Shannon asked me to break up with my husband. And I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from.
So it sounds like they both had like an open type of relationship when maybe they first met. He was with other women and she was with her then husband at the time. She was dating the guy that she eventually married. She wasn't married at the time. See, Christine, I was confused about that. I said, wait, is she saying that she was married? So yes, I think you're right. I think that was there was a point of confusion for me because when you read the lawsuit, she doesn't really say that in the lawsuit. She says that she was like, what I remember from the narrative on that paragraph was that he had given it up. So that's why they had ended the relationship, if you know what I mean.
He's not a faithful person. So
Hey, Chico.
Wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway.
Can you tell us just broadly, I know it's probably painful to relive the situation, but can you tell us generally what happened that day?
It was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his penis in my mouth. And after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, this was all a struggle. So I had said no. And I said no, even though I was thinking that.
She says, I said no, even though I was thinking that. Very graphic. By the way, her hand starts shaking, right? So, that could be a number of things. But just keep that in mind. Chico, thank you for being a member for 28 months. Oh my God, make sure you smash that like. Don't be a hater all your life. It's bad for your health. Yes, it is. Chico, thank you for supporting my channel. Oh my goodness, Chico, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, Chico.
And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard. I remember he got dressed and he knew what he did. And so, I just kind of escorted him out the door. And then I wasn't going to do anything about it. Sometimes when you're with a person for a long time, it's hard for you to realize that they're being the perpetrator, even though you know it, you don't want to admit it. And there's so much going through your mind. But then he started coming at me. If I tell anybody, he'll use everybody he knows to destroy me, which he basically has. And then he started making other threats against my life, he just was so worried that it would get out, and I wasn't going to do anything. But when he kept calling me at work, and when he kept, just very aggressively behaving, and I could see it wasn't going to go away, and he said he was going to destroy me and he was going to kill me, and he told me he was watching me and all that, I just went and got a protective order. I'd had enough. And unfortunately, shortly after, he doxed me and my address got out, and I had somebody stop by my apartment, which had a door that led right to, it was basically on the sidewalk. And somebody came up to my door and said, "Shut up."
So, I hope that she filed a police report for this, right? Because, these are a lot of allegations that are being made. I hope that she has the stuff to support what she's saying, if you know what I mean.
Screamed it at the top of their lungs. And I had my daughter in there right there. And I was like, oh, no. And so I went in and I dropped it, because also at my house, not my apartment, my house, somebody came to my house and sat out front of in the driveway while my daughter was there alone. Someone came to my house, someone came to my apartment, and after my daughter called me, that's when I went straight there.
So after you rescinded the restraining order, was there any other was there any other weird stuff, or did it kind of just die down?
See, and I don't remember reading in the lawsuit that she had rescinded the restraining order. I might have to go back to that lawsuit, but I don't remember that at all. Okay, so rescinded, revoked. Here's my question. This is the part that I'm really kind of struggling with, because she talks about that there were people, he had doxed the address. There were people that were coming to her property at the time. If this is the case, why rescind a restraining order? What do you guys think would make her rescind a restraining order? That, I mean, she's not being protected, but this might help one way or another, even though restraining orders aren't always helpful. But I do have to wonder about this. Why rescind the restraining order? For those, let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I'm at a loss for this one, honestly. I feel like, I don't know. No, this is Chico. She filed a lawsuit in 2023. Law enforcement corruption. Okay, many victims don't report. Right. I agree. She did, though. In order for them to have filed the lawsuit, there would have had to been some kind of a report, right? This is the part that's very confusing to me. You're on the fence. She says it. Buyer's regret. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Okay, let me hit play.
It died down. I tried to move on with my life. We may have talked, I think, once or twice. But then he started going on television. He came to my job.
So we may have talked once or twice. Hold up. Hold up, my friends. Hold up.
Came to my house. Someone came to my apartment. And after my daughter called me, that's when I went straight there.
So after you rescinded the restraining order, was there any other was there any other weird stuff, or did it kind of just die down?
It died down. I tried to move on with my life. We may have talked, I think, once or twice. But then he started going on television. He came to my job, Turner Broadcasting, went on TV at CNN, and it was my job to put the videos from up to YouTube for CNN. That was part of my job. So I'm putting up this video, and here I see Shannon at my job talking about domestic violence, and the co-host mentioned that, oh, you had one that was just totally dropped, made it look like the police dropped it, not that I had gone down and withdrawn it. It created a picture that wasn't accurate, and that was a very hostile work environment.
I'm going to ask something that might be a little sensitive or might sound insensitive.
She said it was a very hostile work environment. So she was uploading the videos from CNN to YouTube, if I'm understanding this correctly. It sounded like she might have had conversations with Shannon in between the time, before or after rescinding the protection order, right? So this is, I guess it's a lot of points of confusion for me. And that's okay, guys, because I don't think, if you've ever been in a situation like that, I don't think it makes sense to the regular person. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to go through it, or, be with somebody that you're close to go through it to understand. So I definitely get this piece where, some of us might be a little bit confused by this. She had a kid and rescinded a restraining order. You said, oh, hell no, says Upside Down. Different people do different things. She reported, of course, nothing came out of it. Sadly, there are PDs who believe and treat ours, as he said. She said crime and restraining orders are a joke. For experience, when we broke, PDs do nothing. Let me ask you guys a question, okay? Let me play the devil's advocate here, or at least the other side of this argument. Some of you guys might not like what I'm about to say, but it's something that I'm just gonna say it, y'all. You already know, and it's how we get down. We say things that maybe might not sound correct, but or don't always sit well. I'm just gonna say what I'm thinking a little bit, okay? She had been AR'd. She gets a protection order. Okay. She rescinds the protection order. All right. She, in her own words, said that they started having communication. A protection order, depending on where you get it from, could also be public information, right? That's not going to look good for Shannon Sharpe's, background, right? Is it possible that he might have offered her money around that time to rescind this protection order? Is there a possibility that could have happened? Hey, you rescind this, people aren't looking at this, it goes away, people are forgetting. We're talking about this man's reach, right? A possibility of anything could happen. In my mind, I'm wondering about that. Is it possible that he might have paid? She's not saying it here, guys. She's not saying it here. She didn't say it in the lawsuit. But there's a lot that's also not being said, right? Is it possible that she might have been paid because she had conversations in between? Anything is possible, okay? And it's not documented. It could have been under the table. It could have been, something like really quick and nothing, and then they just moved on. She files this lawsuit again. And I mean, she's in her right to, anybody can file a lawsuit. But I have to kind of wonder about this. I feel like she had to rescind it because he was threatening her life if she didn't do it or drop it. That's a good point, Christine. Could be. Could be that he was threatening her. So she's like, we didn't have any interaction. We had a good conversation that was done. This is Shannon Sharpe, guys. Okay. So I have to kind of weigh in all possibilities of this situation. Okay. Or probably got backlash from the public and thought it was too much to go through anyways, right, Vanessa? Anything is possible. But I was thinking this. I said, we never know. Andrew says if he did offer her money and she took it, she should admit taking the money. But if he did pay, I bet he has receipts to back it up such claims. And I think that if that was the case too, given that things are so public now, I'm pretty sure Shannon Sharpe would have put that out there. He's like, listen, I met with her. She rescinded this protection order, and I paid her this much. I don't think everything is so public now. Like, I don't think that there's a secret about who Shannon Sharpe's character is, at least what the public has perceived it to be. People have already made, their minds up on this situation. And it's unfortunate, but it's what happens. Social media, the court of public opinion, it's like there's court and then the court of public opinion. The court of public opinion doesn't have the limitations that the court does, right? The jurisdiction of public opinion goes everywhere, it seems like, right? We can all give commentary, conclude, make conclusions of different things and whatnot. So I think anything goes in a situation like this. But my hope is that, we'll see what comes out of this, y'all. We will.
I'd say. But I'm going to go ahead and ask because it's a question that I'm sure people are wondering. Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows, and he knows lots of police officers.
And that I do believe. I do believe that because there's a lot of data out there that supports that people don't file police reports when they need to because of retaliation, worry about being attacked, power dynamics and balance. Here's this multi-billionaire guy, and here's this woman who's just a little, reporter or a person that works in media. There's a power imbalance here.
So I didn't know that if I went down there, that would be one of the people that he knows. Atlanta has a problem with corruption down there.
Every branch of government, everywhere there's corruption.
And I was too scared to go to the police because when this happens, you're in a trauma mindset. You're not in a, every day you and I are talking here like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do that. No, you're like fear for your life. You're traumatized. You're not thinking straight. You're having anxiety and panic attacks. And I was worried that he would, get a hold of this police officer and who knows what would happen. And so it was just a decision. And it's a decision a lot of rape victims make to not go to the police. They always say the woman is crazy. Hey, I might be at this point after everything I've dealt with. But back then, no, definitely not crazy. And to see him paint me the way that he did. First off, I'm not somebody crawling out of the woodwork to talk about my connection with him, like he insinuated in his statement. I've been suing him.
What's your message to his latest accuser, who's been doxing? What would you say to her if you can send a message to her?
I pray for you. I have been there. I've been dealing with this for 15 years, so I know what you're going through.
So she gave a message. I think that was nice of her to have done that. You know what I mean? Kiva has been a member for 34 months. Oh my gosh. One of my beautiful, wonderful supporters and day ones. Thank you, Kiva. Thank you. I appreciate you, Kiva. Thank you. Oh my God, 34 months. That's a long time. That is a long, long time. Thank you, Kiva. Appreciate you. You're amazing. Thank you. You said you feel for the woman? Not everyone can go through the police and hospital humiliation. That's true. You said, I think it's like she said in the beginning, he can be very charming. He's very nice. And that's how it was dropped. Thank you. Don't doze off. Well, unless you're going to bed. Shout out to you, Kiva. Thank you. Sharpe is a public figure, not a powerful figure. Big difference. Ooh, that's a good point. Public figures, powerful figures. I mean, I don't know, but I guess it just depends, how far his reach goes. It's just crazy, y'all. But I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments, okay? Let's keep going. So this broke today. Elizabeth Smart. Y'all remember the Elizabeth Smart case? I always it's one of those cases that brings a lot of paranoia, especially when you're a kid. Like somebody jumps, into your house or breaks into your house through a window, abducts you, and the worst of the worst happens type of situation. I think that this case gives me a little bit, hearing about it gives me a little bit of PTSD, honestly. Part of it is because it's a real situation that can happen to anybody. Anybody can just jump into somebody's house and take your kid. Anybody can do that. It's unfortunately the world that we live in, unfortunately. But let's talk about this, because one thing about the Elizabeth Smart predators, they got this thing about their eyes. Listen, I know I'm not making the guy too. This lady's eyes and the other guy's eyes, I can't. I don't know, man. I get a little like, I get a little scared every time I see their eyes. I don't know why. Her name is Wanda Barzy. I think that's her name, right? Kidnapper who held Elizabeth Smart captive for 9 months, arrested after police say sex offender visited Salt Lake City parks. I didn't even know this woman was in Salt Lake. Okay. Wanda Barzy, 79, is accused of violating the conditions of her SO status by going to local parks in Salt Lake City. Yeah, she got this like zombie crazy eye looks. Well, it was not even her. It was the guy that she was with. What was his name? Hold up. Let me see if I can pull a picture of him too. Abductors. See, I be searching on Google and then all this stuff comes up. Yeah, this guy was, oh, Lord have mercy. There's a look about them. Hold up. What was his name? This guy right here. Oh my God. This guy. They got this thing about the eyes. It's the eyes. It's like, I don't know what it is about the eyes. Anyways, moving on. She got the eyes too. It's something about the eyes. Yes, Juliana. I think she was married with the guy. It's giving Manson too, that's for sure. Okay. So Wanda Barzy allegedly visited 2 parks in Salt Lake City in April. Police charged her on Thursday, May 1st, with violating the terms of her parole as a SO. Barzy held Elizabeth Smart captive for 9 months and was released from her prison in 2018. The woman who held Elizabeth Smart captive for 9 months and facilitated her husband's essay assault of the teenager, has been arrested and charged with violating the conditions of her release. Wanda Barzee, 79, was taken into custody on the morning of Thursday, May 1st, by Salt Lake City police after it was allegedly discovered that she had visited local parks. Brett Weisberg, a spokesperson for the Salt Lake City Police Department, tells people that Barzee was booked into Salt Lake County Metro Jail on one count of violating Utah's law restricting registered SOs from entering protected areas, including public parks. I love that, they're holding her accountable because that's what you're supposed to do, whether you're, 79 or 85 or 80, like Mike Jeffries with Alzheimer's. I digress, but this is what holding people accountable looks like. That arrest came after detectives developed information that Barzee had allegedly visited at least 2 parks in Salt Lake, including Liberty Park and Sugar House Park, in violation of state law. Barzee is no longer in custody, with court records showing that she was released, that her release came on judicial orders. She and her husband, Brian David Mitchell, kidnapped Smart in 2022 and held her captive for close to a year, moving between rundown houses and abandoned campsites in Utah and the San Diego area. The pair were arrested in 2003, and a judge ruled that Barzee could be released from prison in 2018. I mean, how did she just, I don't know. How did she just get let out like that? Okay. The decision did not sit well with Smart, who was very vocal about the fact that she viewed Barzee to be just as culpable for what happened to her as her husband and a threat to society. Good. She said in multiple interviews around that time that Barzee was an evil woman. I bet. Mitchell abducted Smart at night point from her home in Salt Lake City. After climbing through her bedroom window, see that's my biggest. That's the kind of shit that makes me not want to have my kids have their own room. I'm not even joking. Like that, as a mom, I don't want my kids have their own room, but I'm saying like that's the kind of stuff that makes me not want, like, it just make sure that they're like double lock windows, something's going on, all this stuff because it's just so scary. Mitchell abducted Smart at knife point. For the next 9 months, Smart was held captive by Mitchell and Barzee and subjected to nearly daily sexual assaults. Yeah, there's something about the eyes. Like she got the creepy eyes and he got they both got creepy eyes. See, now this makes sense why they got married. They got creepy eyes. The creepy eyes, y'all. What do y'all think? Let me know. It's crazy. Wonder how many times since release she attempted to visit the park. Right. This cannot be the first time. The lady got ballsy. You know what I mean? Evil eyes, that's for sure. Smart has previously discussed Barzee's participation in the assaults, saying that she would encourage her husband and often be present while the teenager was being abused by Mitchell. The public was alerted to Mitchell and Barzee's identities after Smart's sister, who witnessed the kidnapping, recalled that the man whose voice she heard that night was the same man who had previously been hired to do work at the family's home. Photos of Mitchell and Barzee then ran on America's Most Wanted. Around the same time, the two started appearing in public with Smart, which eventually led to a person recognizing the pair and contacting the authorities. Smart was rescued on March 12, 2003, just over 9 months after she was taken from her bedroom on June 5th, 2002. I was in high school around that time. Yeah, it's crazy. Mitchell was sentenced to life in federal prison, while Barzee served 15 years for the role in the operation. So they're going to continue to monitor the situation while the criminal prosecution in this matter remains our priority. Our slick PD social workers and crisis intervention detectives will continue to utilize our co-respondent model to help ensure that appropriate resources and safety plans are made and available as the case progresses through the justice system. Okay. Well, what's the social worker going to do? Shoot somebody? That don't make sense. Okay. Some people just can't be rehabilitated. You don't go to a park. Okay? You don't. You don't get in near schools. You don't go to parks. You don't do that. You don't do that. I don't even know why they're even like they anyways, let me stop. I'm sorry. I'm like, why are y'all in parks? Why are you even near parks? I don't know, man. I don't know. Supermax, why are they even out? They're not safe around kids. I mean, how many times has somebody got to violate? Good thing there was no children there. Or at least it's a park. Was there children there? That's the question. Go back to jail. Stay there. Do it all over again. Give them another 25 years. Do that. Be like, go away. Throw away the key. Do what you got to do. She didn't know. Well, she didn't know. Then to put her back. Really, you're following it? She says she didn't know. She didn't know she was at a park. What she do? Walk outside and then be like, I mean, I lived in Utah for 4 years actually. So it's see, I lived in Salt Lake. I lived in another smaller city in Utah. Right. There's several playgrounds. So it's like I don't know. But there's other places like anyways, let me stop. She got dementia too. She must have forgotten that she can't go to parks. You said bad Google Map directions. Lori Lee, that is the question, is why are they out? Why are they out? Okay. Are they both out or is it just her? Let me see. The Brian Mitchell guy, all right. What's his name? Brian Mitchell Edwards? No, what's his name? I forgot. Hold up. I just read it. Brian David Mitchell. That's who it is. Brian David Mitchell. Brian David Mitchell. Oh my God. Look at this crap. So Google identifies him as an author. Google, can you do better about your, like, literally I search and then his profile is pulled out, an author. He must have written a book or something. So he is 71 years old. And I think he's still in custody, I want to say. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. Did she do it? This is her. Oh my God. This is her. This is the lady that allowed it to happen. They just literally, I know, right? They literally called him an author. They need to do better about their labelings. I don't know. I'm like, are y'all kidding? An author? So she just walked to the park. She didn't know, or what happened? This is her photo, y'all. She was smiling back in the day. I don't think he's out, but yeah, this is her. Anyways, moving on. Anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody that was here. Tomorrow I'm going to drop the first part of the Scott Peterson declaration that I have. So expect that tomorrow. I'm going to do it. I got to get it done. I have so much editing to do. So I'm going to read it. This is Scott Peterson's own words, not mine. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. All right. But I'm here for it. I want to know what you guys think. We've been following the Scott Peterson case ever since the documentary, even before that, actually. They're saying that this man could possibly walk. We will see about that. We will see. Now, let me shout out some people here. Definitely supported the channel. H, hope you are partying it up very well, my friend. Shout out to you. Dee J. McCarthy, thank you. Fitz LA, thank you so much for being here. Venus, thank you again for your continued support and membership. Thank you, Chico. I appreciate it. Come get this commentary. Kiva, thank you, guys. I appreciate everybody that's here. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll be here tomorrow morning for sure. Bye, guys. Hit the like. Bye.